All right, all right. Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Lois Kofi. Super excited and fired up to be with you guys here today on this amazing opportunity for you to share and to learn. My name is Lois Kofi with Accelerated Global Connections, and it would help if I actually shared my entire screen. I'm excited to be here as a regional partner for AGC. And if this is your first time being here today, I'm super excited for you. And maybe it's your third time because this is only our third show. And as you can tell from my slight technical glitch, I'm super excited to be launching this still. Only barely 90 days in. We are newer to the Southern California area, and I'm Lois Kofi, owner of Lois Kofi Enterprises, and your host every third Thursday of the month at 3 p.m. Pacific time. So basically, AGC Talks is here as a way to connect you with other people around the globe. AGC, again, if you don't know, stands for Accelerated Global Connections. And AGC Talks is a TED Talk style show. In a short time, we're going to have a timed 15-minute talk that is motivational, educational, inspirational, followed by Q&A. Q&A from the opportunity for you to ask our amazing speaker some really powerful questions. And again, if you don't know, my friend and networking expert, number one best-selling author on Amazon, Travis Sims, who's helping people network in this new normal. He's the CEO and founder, and I was actually there 2 years ago. Can't believe it. We just celebrated the 2-year anniversary of Accelerated Global Connections. It was founded in Minnesota, but as you can see by the name, we're growing by leaps and bounds all over the world. So I'd love for you to play along, guys. You know the drill. If you don't know the drill, go ahead and comment below, #live, city, state, and country are you tuning in from? And of course, #replay if you happen to be following us here later. So for the next 45 minutes, we'll be here on live. And then for those of you who are members or first-time guests who may have signed up, we're going to be going over to Zoom to have a private session and time with our speaker today. So if you haven't already done so, please go and join our public Facebook group, AGC Public Facebook Group. That's where you're going to meet up with over 1,700 people. There might even be 1,800 by now. I need to check on that. There's also daily networking activities. We have about 3 to 4 events per week. If you become a member, which we'll talk about today as well, you can go to joinagc.com and be a part also of our exclusive Facebook group and connect with like-minded individuals who are doing business, working on helping collaborate and joint venture all of the time. And who here doesn't want support and collaboration in this new normal? You can also hit the search button on all of these formats. You got Facebook, you got LinkedIn, Vimeo, Fire TV, Roku, YouTube, you name it, we're there. Also, there's a podcast. It airs every Monday. You can find it at joinagc.com/podcast on all of the platforms, and be working smarter versus harder. And that's part of my passion as well. You want to say a huge shout out and thank you to one of our premier sponsors, Mailbox Power, Bo Young, who I know personally from Minnesota, who is all about gratitude and follow up in the mailbox, not just the inbox, right? I'm a huge fan of this. I use this system as well. So thank you, Bo, for being a sponsor tonight. And of course, speaking of which, if you want to sponsor the next AGC Talks event live or the AGC podcast, please reach out, send an email to support@joinagc.com. So first and foremost, a reminder, we're going to be going through and having an opportunity to be on Zoom after we have the guest speaker. So if you haven't already registered for that, I want you to go to joinagc.com right now, and you can still register. And at 3:45 Pacific Standard Time, we're going to be switching over to that. Really quickly, just so you guys know, it is only $1 per day to join AGC. So for just $1 a day, you can meet like-minded people all over the globe that can be leading you to your next sale, that could be leading to you to your next opportunity. Again, 1 + 1 = 11, as we like to say. 1 + 1 = 11, and that's an opportunity for you to go out and meet someone. You're just one person away from your goals and dreams, and like attracts like. Every single person that I've met through AGC is positive, supportive, and taking their lives and their businesses and their incomes to the next level. I want to give a quick shout out on all of my friends here on the screen who are captains. They actually help us promote AGC around the world. And so if you want to help me, I'm actually looking for local team members here in Southern California. You can literally be like anywhere in Southern California, to be honest, because now we're online. 100% of our meetings are online. And so if you have any interest, please reach out to me, comment below, or shoot me a private message on Facebook. You can contact with me on Facebook, and I'll be able to help you get connections with us. Well, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our amazing speaker. He's actually a personal friend of mine. Hey, Sean. Sean's here. Just to give a quick shout out to Sean Waite in Hastings, Minnesota. Hey, Travis. Travis is here. Watching from AGC, I think you meant, Minnesota. So super excited. I heard you guys had a blizzard, so I just have to throw that in there. California is warm and sunny, and life is good. So I'm going to first of all introduce my friend, our speaker today, Brian Kelly, and his topic is so relevant to what's going on in the world right now, right? Automation equals professionalism equals more business. And he's going to share more about how he has helped automating a live video show with his journey as an amazing podcaster, by the way. You should check it out if you haven't already. But how he can save over 43 grand per year and help land big paying contracts. So he's going to help us learn how to do that. So entrepreneurs hire Brian to stand out in the marketplace and attract a steady stream of ideal clients because most are extremely frustrated due to the fact that they simply can't figure out how to do it. He helps entrepreneurs to saturate the marketplace with their message through live video shows combined with proven automation strategies to get them more exposure. Bottom line, Brian helps them showcase their true professionalism and gain massive exposure while saving them both time and money, guaranteed. So Brian, I'm going to go ahead and bring you on and get out of the way of greatness here, because you're like a mentor to me on this world of StreamYard and live podcast shows. So I'm so grateful and humbled to have you here.
Hi, Lois. And my goodness, after that introduction, I don't know what else to say. I guess we're done. This was a great show. Thanks so much.
You're awesome. Well, I'm going to go ahead and let you take it away and do my best to be your best Vanna. And I'm getting your slides ready right here, right now. And so you do your thing, okay?
That's great. I've never had a Vanna before. Let's go. All right. How are you doing, everyone? We're going to pull up a little bit of a presentation here and go ahead and advance that one, Lois, if you would. As she said, I'm the founder and CEO of Reach Your Peak LLC, and that's an entrepreneur training company. And I do host a weekly live show. It's called The Mind Body Business Show. And that's where I interview successful entrepreneurs just like Lois from all over the world. I'm also creator of something called Carpet Bomb Marketing, as she mentioned in the beginning. It's a breakthrough system that helps businesses to saturate the marketplace with their message. Go ahead and advance. And when you stay until the end of this presentation, I will provide you a gift that can end up saving you countless hours and thousands of dollars of trying to figure it out all on your own by trial and error, because I've invested the time and I've invested the money so you don't have to. So stay on until the end so you can grab this incredibly valuable gift. I cannot wait to bring that to all of you. And as a software engineer for over 25 years, I've long since turned entrepreneur. Yes, I am a bit older, maybe than appearances would give. I was always a huge fan of automation. And trust me, the last thing I wanted to do was pick up the phone and actually talk to someone. I'd rather just send them automated messages, by way of autoresponders and those things, and let those do the work for me. Okay, Lois, next one. I was convinced, completely convinced that I could make it work, and I spent many hours and an ungodly amount of money over the span of 2 decades in creating, tweaking, assembling, testing all these automated software and services. And go ahead. And the result, I found that on very rare occasion that it did work. And I emphasize very rare. Sure, there are some industries where this human-less approach can and does work. And one great example, I would say, is online retail. Think of Amazon or Spotify, where physical goods are not Spotify, it's Shopify. That's the one I'm thinking of, for where physical goods are actually the focus of transactions. And so it can work with those business models, but we're talking mostly here to small business owners, coaches, and the like. So go ahead, Lois. And here's the thing. Listen, when the rubber meets the road, I found that the most important and most successful strategy in building a business is in doing so by creating actual relationships. I know this is about automation. Relationships are also very important. So look, when I was in absolute denial for a very long time, primarily because I didn't want to have to talk to anyone. And if you're anything like me, I thought it way too cumbersome and way too time consuming to attempt to build a business just one person at a time, instead of maybe blasting out emails to thousands at a time. Let's advance. Then about 8 years ago, I ran into a gentleman who would ultimately become my mentor. And from him, I learned the absolute importance of building personal relationships to help grow a business. And I learned that, yes, it does take time. It does take a lot of work. And it does take showing up to things like seminars, workshops, and networking events like you're watching right now. And the thing is, I just wanted the quick fix, the instant gratification, build the list, then email them, and my business would explode, or so I hoped. So with my mentor, I learned firsthand the sheer power of relationship building and the importance of maintaining and nurturing those relationships once they were established. And I began getting clients in my own business, and I could see growth was soon to come. And so as a solopreneur, I was now faced with another problem. Okay, now I've got clients coming in, but I can only handle so many. I'm just one person. So at this moment, my business wasn't scalable. I had no systems by which to grow my business. And there was just simply too much to handle on my own. Go ahead, Lois. There were things like building and growing my social media presence on all of the major platforms, scheduling new guest experts for my weekly live show, the Mind Body Business Show. We mentioned that earlier, setting everything up for that show, and then handling all of the post-show activities, such as following up with a past guest and updating the show website for the next show, editing out the audio from the video, and then uploading that to 25 podcast platforms. And the list goes on and on and on. And then on the client building side of things, there were tasks such as adding leads that came in from Facebook ads into my CRM. And CRM, for those of you that may not know what that means, that's customer relationship management. It's a tool. Also, following up with these potential clients through text and emails, in addition to scheduling strategy session calls. I think you're getting the picture. It was unbearably too much for one person to handle as a solopreneur. And now you can go, Lois. I was in serious need of systems. And as Michael Gerber states in his book, The E-Myth Revisited, this one hit me right between the eyes. If you don't have systems in your business, then you have no business. That one hit me so hard, and I'm so glad that I read that book. I met this gentleman in person. He's an amazing guy. So what I did was, leaning on my background in software engineering, I started building and piecing together automation sequences and these funnels, that not the kind of funnels you might think of, using a variety of disparate services. And I also needed help from actual humans as well. So if we were just to talk about the show, the Mind Body Business Show, and focus on that, just that alone, I needed help in managing my social media accounts, in correcting the transcriptions once the show was over for every one of the shows. And I also needed at least one sales rep. Go ahead. When it comes to automation, now there are choices. There are a lot of choices. There are full-blown CRMs. There are website builders, funnel builders, email and text follow-up systems, online schedulers, affiliate systems, shopping carts. Yes, and the list goes on and on and on. And over the years, I have to tell you, I have used many of these aforementioned services. Go ahead. Now, I have seen several all-in-one services that combine all of these services under one roof. Many of them. These are companies who started out specializing in, say, just one area, then branched out and added other services into a one-stop shop model. I saw and I used one that started out as just a website builder, as an example. Then it branched out into including an autoresponder system, and then decided to also add a shopping cart system. And this was not planned from day one. These were afterthoughts. Yet another company started out as a webinar platform. Then they added a website builder, followed by an autoresponder, then a video hosting service, a help desk, a membership site, and back-end analytics for all of this. And my goodness, but wait, there's more. They even added an entire affiliate management service along with a full-blown e-commerce system. It was unbelievable how much they were throwing into one resource. And I'm not going to name any names here, but I've actually tried both of these that we're talking about here. And they each did a great job of marketing. And they were each able to, what I like to say is, snare me into their diabolical trap because they did such a great job. And this is not the first nor the second time I'd fallen for this all-in-one shiny object. Listen, any one of these services by itself, you see them on the screen right now, is difficult enough to pull off, let alone 2, 3, or even more. If there's one thing I know from my past as a software engineer, automation in any form takes a lot of time and resources to create. And then once it's created, it takes a whole other round of time and resources to really dial it in, because the first rendition is never the end result, and then make it into a quality product or service. Then, given the fact that these services are all technology driven, there's constant R&D, which stands for research and development, because technology is always evolving and advancing. And then if you were to top it all off, you need highly skilled team in place, a lot of people to support all of these services, each requiring its own specialized skill set. So in other words, you need an absolute army of software developers, and then beta testers, and support reps, and more. And it's simply too much for even a decent sized company to pull off successfully. All right, Lois. So here's the thing. We don't have much time, and I want to get to your free gifts. So I'm going to step up the pace a little bit here. I hope you don't mind. But when it came to sifting and sorting the multitude of choices and services available, as you saw, there are many, I began putting each service through my own filter or criteria, if you will. And so I came up with a simple list of criteria that each service must meet in order for me to give it a try to even begin with. I'm not even going to spend time with it unless it meets these criteria. And there you see, the first one is kind of obvious, but it really needs to work. It must work, and it must work very, very well. An autoresponder, a great example. There are many of these on the market. There's some I'll name out by name. They're very good ones. MailChimp, Aweber, GetResponse, Constant Contact, ActiveCampaign, and there's many more. And an autoresponder sends, drips series of emails over time to email addresses. And these are ones that you've collected through an opt-in form. Many of you have filled those out just to see this very presentation that's going on right now. And the thing is that these emails that are being sent must arrive at the respective destination without a big drop-off, people ending up in spam folders or not even getting to their destination at all. And here's the reason I bring all this up is it takes just a ton of time and know-how for an autoresponder company to get on and stay on these whitelists so that they can get through. And I won't go too deep into this. It gets a little techy, but suffice it to say that it takes a lot of resources and skilled personnel to pull off just one service. And this is just one example of what is required to keep one service banging on all cylinders, let alone a bunch. All right. And the second criteria is it must be user-friendly. And all of you, I can sure attest to this. Like if someone provides you a service that's confusing, then you're not going to stick around. I won't. It just makes sense, right? So one comes to mind whose very nickname it contains the word confusion in its spoofed company name. I'm not going to name it, but many of you know who I'm talking about already. Confusing tools and resources take time to navigate and to complete the task at hand. And as the saying goes, time is money. All right. The third criteria is it must have flexible pricing. Go ahead, Lois. Most services I've come across already have this as part of their core offerings. So most of them are pretty good. But there are still a few out there that have you start off with an exorbitant price schedule or a upfront price, and they are built for larger, more established companies. Not all. There are many great ones out there that don't do this, but there are some. So it needs to have pricing options that are tailored towards small business owners like you and I as part of their offering. The fourth criteria is, this is a big one, it must have stellar support. And I mean stellar. If they don't get back to you or respond to you within a maximum of 2 business days, then in my opinion, that is not stellar support. We are all running businesses. We need support. We're dealing with technology here. And with technology, there are issues. We've all run into them, even on our phones. And if you can't get the support you need in a timely manner, then your business suffers. It's crucial. All right. The fifth criteria is there must be a way to integrate it with other disparate services. That means other completely different tools and resources by different companies. And there is one go-to integration tool that I use that is basically the foundation of nearly all of my automations. And to find out what it is, all you need to do is stay to the end of this presentation because it's included in my free gift, and it's free, 100% free. Trust me, this integration tool is where the true automation magic comes in. All right, Lois. Yeah, and so after years of determining the best of the best services to use, I then set forth to automate nearly every step of my business by building a comprehensive automated system. And what you see on the screen right now is literally one of my systems that I developed, and this is one of many. This very system of services that you see ran flawlessly, as an example, while my wife and I were away on a 10-day vacation in the Eastern Caribbean. So leads were coming in through Facebook ads. They were then being dropped into my system that included an automated online scheduler to choose a time that was convenient for them to hop on a call. And in the meantime, I had a sales rep, yes, a human being, in place to field the calls and staff in place to continue keeping all of my social media platforms current and responsive. And this has proven to be an absolute godsend for my business. Go ahead. And as I mentioned before, I use a collection of handpicked proven services to create automations that streamline and systematize my business. And I'd like to give you a free gift. It's a collection of all the tools and resources we use at Reach Your Peak to create automations that result in freeing up an immense amount of time. And to put it in more perspective, a recent client of mine, after being on the receiving end of one of our most comprehensive automations, he just told me that he thought that I had a team of 4 people that were handling everything for us on the back end. I kid you not. And the truth is there was only one, and that one was yours truly. And I rarely had to spend any of my own time, all because I developed a series of very comprehensive automations. And I'm constantly being told by my guest experts whom I've interviewed on my live show just how organized and professional I am. And let me tell you, I am definitely not all that organized, truth be told. But the thing is, when you present yourself and your brand and your organization in such a way that it looks and acts professional, you get more business. One such past guest expert named Brigitte Hoferle, having experienced all of this magic from her end, recently coined me as what you saw on the previous slide as the automation master. So I kind of like that, and I'm going to go with it. All right. Many of these guests would ask me right after our show together, we do a debrief. Lois was one of them. And they would say, Brian, could you please show me how to do what you do? And I just said, I don't want to. It's too much. It's too complex. And then after person after person after person asked this, I finally decided to create a very comprehensive training program that I call Carpet Bomb Marketing. And it has been a year and a half in the making, and it's finally completed. And yes, we're on the correct slide right now. The free gift you see is a collection of the very tools and resources that are covered in depth, step by step, leaving no stone unturned in this Carpet Bomb Marketing course. And I say all of this to emphasize the sheer value of this free gift. Now, this is a proven suite of resources that we use literally today and on a daily basis. We've tested and tried many resources over the years. So what you'll see in this list can end up saving you months of time and thousands of dollars in hiring VAs, those are virtual assistants, and in going about it by trial and error. So go ahead and head on over to ryp.im/AGC and get your free gift. All right, go ahead, Lois. Okay, so you're probably wondering, I opened up with a question, and you're probably saying, Brian, you haven't really answered that question that started this whole presentation. Yes, I promised you in the beginning that I would provide you the answer, and I'm a man that keeps my promises. Go ahead. And so when we talk about automation versus personal connections and which is best, the real answer is, you might have guessed it, it's both. You see, we need to establish and nurture personal relationships to build our client base, to reach out to them for referrals, to form joint venture partnerships, and to expand our connection base. Then we also need, just as important, automation in order to scale and systematize. And yes, I'd like to sincerely thank you for watching and listening in, and I hope you received a lot of value here today. And I'll bring up the slide with the link for the gift in just a moment. If you can go back to that just so they can see that before we head off there, Lois, as we close out. And yeah, we'll open it up, I understand, to some Q&A, and I can't wait to hear what you all have as far as questions, and I'll do my best to answer in the best way I can. All right, thanks so much, Lois, for running the slides. That was fun.
Yay, awesome. Thank you so much. I only made a couple snafus, so thank you for your grace and love and rolling with it. So that was awesome. I mean, I've seen you present. I've had you on my podcast. I've referred people to you, and that's part of that. I love that handshake of like kind of like the robot and the person. I've learned that in this new normal. Like if you don't have both and you're leaving money on the table. You're going to be in some respects left behind, I think, because you gotta take the old school and the new school approach. So Travis says, thank you for the gift to our AGC members and guests. And guys, this is your opportunity. I would love for you to just throw out your questions. Otherwise, I get to be the lucky one and ask all the great questions. So please comment below. And so other than obviously your free gift, let's say someone's watching this and maybe they have like MailChimp, maybe they have Calendly or ActiveCampaign. Maybe they have like 2 or 3 systems. Like, where do they go from here?
They go to someone, and in all honesty, they seek out someone who's gone through it already. And I'm not doing this to pitch or anything like that, but get help. Whether it's myself, there are plenty of people out there that can do what I do. I don't like to admit it, but there are. And definitely. So find somebody that knows how to put all these pieces together and ask for help. Here's one thing I learned, Lois, in business was, look, we all have incredible brains, and we have experience, we have knowledge, we can learn things, and we could literally figure out how to do it on our own. But do you want to? Do you want to take the time, the anguish, the trial and error, the years, the decades that I went through? And I'm a software engineer. I'm a tech geek. It took a long time to filter out the chaff, right? And so I would just go with someone who has experienced it, who at least can vouch for the services they are using, to say these work and I use them every day and they work for me in my business. I'm saying that in general terms, not for me personally. And then ask them, say, will you help me?
I love it. Awesome. Wonderful. Yeah, no one succeeds alone. Like I said before, 1 + 1 = 11. Like I'm going to say it. I know you were kind, but I'm going to say it. Confusionsoft, for example. I I still have
Uh,
Infusionsoft, but I refer it out because I'm like, I don't know how to use this. I'm a salesperson. Like, I want to be, even though we can't shake hands and kiss babies really exactly the same way anymore, I want to be shaking virtual hands and doing this and not pecking away at trying to figure out how to connect funnels with landing pages, with emails. And no, so I've had to outsource myself, and I probably use 8 or 9 systems. And I know at one point you said you were using like 14 different systems. Is that still the accurate number?
it varies, and I'm literally in the process. I'm always looking for different ways, better ways to solve issues, and I'm literally in the process of transitioning, migrating from 3 systems I'm currently using can all be accomplished in one. I know I talked about that all-in-one shiny object. This doesn't have everything. It has a lot, but it has a massive team behind it. I mean, 43 software engineers worldwide at the time I talked to the founder, which was now over a month ago. So they're growing like crazy, and they're doing it right. They're doing it with us, you and I, Lois, in mind, the agency owners, the people that are looking to go out and help others to make their lives simpler. And so I'm in the process of doing that. I'm getting close to finishing. I'm getting excited.
That's awesome. I know you've been working hard. Travis says, what are your views of using bots for automation?
It's a great question. I would personally, it's okay to greet people with a bot and ask them for, what are they looking for? A lot of people want to try to pour AI, artificial intelligence all over it. Those words are getting overused in my opinion, because not everything is AI. That's very, very, very high tech to be AI. But anyway, I would say limit it. It's okay to automate, in my humble opinion, to get the conversation started, maybe to drive them down to the path of, say, setting up a 30-minute or a 15-minute consultation call where you actually get on the phone with them if you're able and capable to do that. But I wouldn't go so far as to try to have it answer them intelligently as if it were another person, which I've seen other systems attempting to do. I've seen text-based systems that are doing that. It takes way, way, way too much expertise and knowledge to build something like that, let alone to carry it off and make it look like it's a person. The other thing is, if you're going to do that, I would say be upfront and say, give the bot a name and say, hey, I am Lois Bot, whatever you want to call it. So they know right up front you're not trying to pull a wool over their eyes, and they know that, say, hey, look, I just have a few questions for you. Let's go back and forth, and then we'll see if we're a fit, and then I'll connect you to a real human being. That would be an approach I would take.
That's awesome. And I'm gonna just admit something on camera that I'm actually, in my opinion, is better than bots, but that's just me. I'm not an expert. I'm still new. I'm like a virgin in her first year of figuring out this whole new world, right? And so for me, I use my virtual assistant. She's only $7 an hour, and I have her help follow up. And so I don't drop the ball. Like, she followed up with you, Brian, to confirm you were ready for this event, And so I'd rather have another human who I'm supporting, I'm encouraging, I'm serving, instead of a bot. And I don't know what bots cost, but to me, I'm employing someone, and it's a win-win all the way around.
I think that is, to me, a better solution. It just depends on where people are at in their business and what resources they have available. And I always say this: do the best you can with the resources you currently have. But keep in mind what the long-term plan is going to be. So when it comes and you're ready for it, you can jump on it and start scaling your business much greater. What you're doing, Lois, that would be my choice, is have a human being that's working for me on staff rather than a bot. Again, you could still automate that first initial sequence so that their time is being saved until they commit to say, I do want to talk to you. So there's a fine line. You can dance around it. And the thing would be is to try it, test it, see what works, see what doesn't. Get the feedback of the person once you get them on the phone. How did that seem to you? Was it cheesy? Was it professional? I'd really love to hear your thoughts on that. Always get feedback.
Awesome. I love it. I know we're looking for a couple more questions here, guys. We got about another 5 minutes, give or take. Also, if you want to meet with Brian on Zoom after, and you're a first-time guest or a member, you got to be a paid member of AGC to join us. We're going to Zoom at 3:45, so we just got a little bit of time, just as a reminder for you guys that if you haven't already signed up because you just happen to stumble on this, I don't believe in accidents, but you're here for a reason. And I would go to joinagc.com right now and register for today's event, and you should be able to get the Zoom as well.
If for nothing else, to get connected with this young lady, Lois Kofi, she is amazing. And so whatever, I don't even know what the membership cost is. It doesn't matter. It would be worth it just to be in the circle with Lois Kofi. And I'm not saying that, I'm being brutally honest. So whatever the investment is, it's worth it.
You're so kind. Well, thank you, Brian. I appreciate you. And I know Sean Waite says I stole his thunder with the VA. So that must mean you're ready to hire your VA, right, Sean? Go for it. Just do it. Just do it. Just do it. Because if you don't delegate, guys, or delegate, automate to elevate. Right, Brian?
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Here's a good one. What industries or processes aren't a good fit for automation? Do you have any?
I don't know of any, because every business I know has to communicate with its clients, whether it's in person or from afar. So there's always automation that can become, there's email automation, there's texting automation, and there's calendar scheduling automation that all, as a bare minimum, can play in a part. You don't have to automate every aspect of your business. So you just do what makes sense to take a human away from having to do that. It saves you money in paying somebody. Look, I'm all for employing people and keeping the economy going. Please don't take that the wrong way. But the other thing automation does, is once you've got it set up properly, it doesn't make mistakes. So there you save even more money that you can't even realize due to mistakes made by a human being. And so I think there's aspects of nearly any business that can benefit from some form of automation, and it would just have to be examined on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I don't think there's any industry that can't be automated to some extent, even if it's just simply your calendar scheduling system. How many of us out there have been guilty of doing it old school? Let's go back and forth on email for 5,000 weeks and maybe meet sometime next year. And then we somehow get on the wrong calendar and we don't show up, and then we have to reschedule anyway. Like, that was the one simplest thing I did before pandemic, of course, but automating emails has made me thousands and thousands of dollars. Having things set up, and what Brian talks about is so powerful. So powerful. Does anybody, let me see here. I got to keep us, I think we have time for another question. Just a reminder, and Travis posted this in the chat, but it's joinagc.com/event /198. So you can read up on Brian. You can also still register to join us in the Zoom room right after we finish up here. I'll just ask a question since I don't see any here in the comments. But what do you think is the biggest, if you were to pick one, the number one time saver, money maker automation tool, and not necessarily the specific tool, but the one thing that can help take more off of anybody's plate than anything else? Is it email autoresponders? Is it, the website stuff? Is it, what do you think?
Man, it's really not just one. It's the combination of all of whatever's necessary for your business. And at a minimum, it'd be the autoresponder and the scheduler, and another piece that can tie in other services. Like if you have forms that you're collecting information on your website, that would be the third. And then so that would make actually 4 total services. The fourth would be a way to make the 3 pass data between each other to further automate. So you don't have to go say, somebody entered a form. Okay, now I got to send them my calendar link or whatever your link happens to be. And then, now I need to follow up with email. You can have all this set up and automated from the get-go. And they know that kind of stuff's going to be automated, so they don't look at it as impersonal. And that's where I'm saying that automation is so key to any business to save you money, to make you look and operate with a higher level of quality and professionalism. And again, all you have to do is build it one time, and it will not make mistakes. And you refine it and tweak it over time as needed. But once you've built it and you've proven it and you've tested it, it's a godsend. And it can be scaled to so many different levels. But almost any company, that was a great question, can benefit from some level of automation. It would just have to be examined.
Yeah, it's like putting together a pizza, right? You can't just have one ingredient. You got to have all of the ingredients for automation.
And some like more ingredients than others, and need more ingredients than others, right?
Some might be vegetarian. You never know.
There you go.
So for sure, and I'll attest to that. And we'll, unfortunately, Brian, we got to let you go, but we're going to see you in the Zoom room here in 5 minutos. Guys, remember you can get Brian's free gift here. I got it on the screen. Thanks, Travis, for sharing that one last time. So if you have more questions that maybe you didn't get asked, please join us in the Zoom room. And I know Travis dropped that link in, but I'll just share it one more time. Go to joinadc.com/event/198. I'm going to let you take a breather, Brian. We'll see you in 5 minutes inside of Zoom, okay?
Is that where I go to the Zoom room, the same link you just showed?
I will actually, I'll send it to you. Don't worry.
Okay.
I got you.
I was curious, like, all right, this will be fun.
I got you. So just as a reminder, anybody who actually registered, you would have gotten the Zoom link. So that's why I shared it one last time. If you go to joinadc.com/event and then the event that I shared with you, you'll get to join us. But as always, we gotta, the show must go on. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish out. Let me just make sure here. It was great to see you, Sean, Dawn, and Travis, and all of you guys. Please come back every third Thursday of the month, same time, same channel, to be able to see our next guest speaker. Next month, we're going to actually be talking to one of my good friends here in San Diego. Jenny's going to be talking about how to be out there with video and be audio visual in this new normal, because quite honestly, that's a huge part of what we're doing right now, right? Is to succeed with that audio and visual. So go ahead, and we're going to be sharing. We did the Q&A. We're going to be heading to the Zoom room here shortly. So again, hopefully you've registered to get that. If you're a guest for the first time, you get one free visit to meet the speaker, to have the opportunity to network, share referrals, joint venture, and then you must become, of course, a member. We have all sorts of locations all over the country. We do say global. I know we'll be global. I actually met a client referral through AGC that's in Mexico, and then she was a gateway to a whole world for me. So this is a global organization. Right now, we're in Minnesota, Indiana, Iowa, California, Arizona, and Missouri. So again, go to joinadc.com to become a member. We also want to give a thank you to Global IT and Gandhi Wong, who's one of our premier sponsors, who keeps this organization running, and he's an amazing guru when it comes to your IT needs. So no matter what your goals are, we'd love for you to be able to have an opportunity to plug into our community, whether you're looking for teamwork, relationships, culture, more business, more money, right? More green, education, helping clarify your purpose, your vision, building trust, having referrals and integrity, and of course, quality, meaningful relationships, and above all, results in an authentic way. You want to consider joining AGC for just $1 per day. So if you have any other questions, you can also comment below or reach out to me directly as the local Southern California captain. I'm super honored and humbled and grateful to you, Travis, for that opportunity. And here we go to finish it out. Sorry about that. Also, you can go to YouTube and subscribe now and be able to be a part of the AGCL Accelerated Global Connections YouTube channel and get access to 200 plus videos of our past guests and speakers, including myself, in the past 2 years. It's been amazing. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you on Zoom here in just a couple minutes.